Nice, comfortable, seated posture. And remembering our phone heavy head man, try and align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders, and imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond, and just lengthen, putting some space in between the vertebrae. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head, and you might notice some sensation there. Hearing some buzzing. Oh, it's coming from me. And just relax the crown and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the head, the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just be aware of this, the air floating in and out of your nostrils. And then just notice if your conscious mind is reaching out to, could everybody make sure you're muted. So just notice if there's sounds in your environment. I've got the forest falling asleep here. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind, allow them, notice them. And rather than following the story about whatever it is you're thinking, just allow it to dissipate. Without judgment or criticism. Just be aware of what's in the mind. That's a really excellent place to be, is just knowing what's in there. And some days you can know what's in there, you recognize it. Maybe you recognize it as jealousy, and you can see it. The story goes on for a little while and then you stop it. You know, you just kind of think, oh God, maybe I should change that train of thought. And it just comes back again. But the main event here is you having awareness about what's in the mind. That's fantastic. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our real, our loved ones, our dear ones. These people we have profound relationships with, and then there's strangers. And then we don't really care much about them. And then there's those that who are sort of create a version in our mind. And they're all equal. They all have this wish to be happy, to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So we think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And Mary, I see you here tonight, so let's just send a spare thought for your mum and for you and your family. And then, anyone, we just motivate or anyone. And then think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can create positivity instead. It's up to us. So we, excuse me, sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And so here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see actually as a doctor. And he has these methods that we can use to purify. So it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're Vajrasattva, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So it's a little bit on developing compassion. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and then think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown quite forcefully, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dina me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe So feel happy that your speech has been completely purified, and imagine now it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just imagine you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch, and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So just as the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and depression, resentment, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of the resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So without having some kind of, aspiration or wish or decision, I mean, nothing's going to change. We just kind of rumble along with this just kind of unaware way of living and, hurting people on the way, including ourselves. So we just kind of have to make, we just decide, I don't want to harm. And we can also decide I'd like to be of benefit. So also now rejoice in your extraordinary efforts and all of you coming tonight, supporting each other, doing this practice. It's kind of amazing. So just rejoice in yourself and everybody else here. And everybody's got something going on, We all have something in our lives. So the fact that you've all turned up despite having something or being tired or it being, 11 o'clock at night for you East Coast people, amazing. So rejoice. And then think, this determination to try and change or to try and refrain from doing things that harm gives us a bit of strength, gives us direction, gives us guardrails. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So then a little bit on emptiness. So think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, just place it there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then for everybody who's got something going on, just dedicate, send all that love and light and pass it on to someone else, help lift them up. So let's just do our are we really up to 5? Okay. The great Vajradhatu mandala. And so he is the Blessed One, the Buddha, awakened fully, born of the letter R. He is the letter R, the foremost phoneme, supreme most syllable with meaning great. Arising from great vital force, unborn, beyond expression, based on words or speech, the foremost cause of every form of speech, the shining forth of every kind of language. Great feast, who takes the form of great passion, producing bliss in every sentient being. Great feast, who takes the form of great anger, great enemy of every mental poison. Okay, everybody, thank you. So just dedicate for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. There's actually some new advice from His Holiness on the FPMT website if you want to check, if you wanted to do any of the practices. And then also for your own precious teachers. And, I did hear Rinpoche say once we should even dedicate for our kindergarten teacher, if that was the person that taught us the alphabet, that because that's the letter A is in everything, and that's helps us understand the Dharma. So anyway, that's why they say the foremost for name, whatever. Anyway, all right, lots of love, everybody. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow. And come along, we're doing 35 Buddhas at 3 o'clock Mountain, and then Shakyamuni Buddha, I think at 5 or 6 Mountain, and then Vajrasattva in the evening. So we'll be all pure by the end of the day. Okay, lots of love. Good night. Thanks for hosting, Michael. Bye.